Hello students, today I am going to tell you about Paradise Lost, John Milton, MA first semester, Unit 3. So to start with, we'll start with the age of Milton, that is from 1625 to 1660. This period is described as the age of Milton in English literary history. This period marks the end of what is known as the Renaissance. The age of Milton is filled with the political and religious strife of the reign of Charles I, that is from 1625 to 1649, and the triumph of Puritanism. So, what do you mean by Puritanism? The group of people, the beliefs or principles of a group of English Protestant of the late 16th and 17th centuries who regarded the reformation of the church under Elizabeth I as incomplete and sought to simply a regular forms of worship. Thus, Puritanism became a political as well as a moral and religious force and the great champion of the endangered freedom of the English people. So, the blow to literature in this period. The growth of Puritanism had important consequence for the literary life of the nation. John Milton, Anna Bradstreet, Edward Taylor, and John Dryden, some of the greatest poets of this age. So we come to the next heading, that is the Caroline poets. The term Caroline means pertaining to Charles. Carolus is a Latin word which means Charles. In the Cavalier group of Caroline poets, the group of poets which are called the Cavalier poets, they are Thomas Crewe, Sir John Suckling, and Richard Lovelace. So, after studying the age of Milton, we'll study about the John Milton, a short biographical sketch. The family background of John Milton. John Milton was born in London, in Bread Street, Cheapside, on the 9th December 1608. His father had been able to attain some prominence and make a comfortable fortune as a scrivener or notary, and through the allied business of private banking or money lending. So the poet inherited from his father a disposition towards religious independence. He also owed to his father a debt in the way of music. Now we come to the early education of John Milton. Milton received his early education at home under private tutors and was then admitted to St. Paul's School. Perhaps in 1620 at school he studied Latin and Greek besides other subjects. Milton was from childhood a great reader, so that excessive reading, proved to be the initial cause of his subsequent blindness. So, Milton died on 8th November 1674, a month short of his 66th birthday. Now we come to the introduction of Paradise Lost. So, the first thing to be considered in an epic poem is the fable, said Addison. Paradise Lost deals with the rebellion of the angels, the creation, the temptation of men, and the fall. The subject matter of the poem is taken partly from the books of the Old Testament of the Bible. The fable of this epic poem, as Milton tells it, may be roughly be divided into three parts: the rebellion of the angels and their material strife with God will study in book 1, 2, 3 and the greater part of 5th and 6th. The creation of mankind, the intercession of Messiah, and the condition of man's existence touched in books 1, 4th and part of 5, 7 and 7th, and the wiles of Satan against men, the transgression of Eve and Adam and their expulsion from paradise, book 9 to 12. But in the first year, you will study the Paradise Lost, book 1. Paradise Lost is the product of a Puritan's prolonged meditations on the Bible. It paints the vision which the Bible has given him. He lets nothing intervene between the Bible and himself. He allows himself complete liberty in interpreting it, but he puts his entire faith in it. He accepts the whole of biblical history as genuine and sacred, but he retells it as one who bears all the burden of contemporary knowledge, whose personality is intense and self centered, and who has little dramatic sense. He projects himself, his feelings, knowledge, and aspirations into the characters of his epic, both the primitive human creatures and the superhuman beings, whether belonging to heaven or hell. The biblical story of Adam and Eve, their temptation by the serpent, and their loss of innocence and perfect happiness, possesses the universality of a myth. Paradise Lost mirrors Milton's belief in throwing all its stresses onto Adam and Eve's deciding between good and evil. Because of this, his dramatization of the human predicament has all the more relevance and impact for the individual reader. It also increases the vivid and pathetic quality in the central scenes of the poem when Adam and Eve are left dramatically exposed to the seductive power of evil. So, students, in my first video regarding the Paradise Lost, I have given you a short description about the age of Milton, a short biography sketch of Milton, and introduction to Paradise Lost. In my next video, I'll give a complete summary of Paradise Lost, Book 1. Thank you.